Hi, I'm Samantha Roady. I am the CEO of Simply Business here in the US, and I oversee strategy and growth for our US business. We are a digital broker that is focused on simplifying the insurance buying process for small businesses, specifically what we like to refer to as micro small businesses, which are businesses that have less than 5 employees and typically less than $1 million of annual revenue. This is a segment of the market. It's a huge TAM. There's 31 million small businesses in the U.S. that fit that definition, and we really focus on making sure that they have the opportunity to get the insurance they need. We help kind of simplify the process, and from the research phase all the way through to buying their policies and managing them online.
Can you give us a sense of the scale, how many binds you do every year, or what's publicly available, I guess, to give us a sense of your success to date?
Yeah, so we started in the UK about 20 years ago, and then set up operations here in the US 7 years ago. And globally, we have over 1 million small business customers.
Okay. So today we're talking specifically about innovations within the insurance market as it relates to small businesses. Hence, we're super interested in hear what you see from where you're sitting. What are some of the key innovation priorities that you see the next 12, 18 months when it comes to helping small business owners, either directly through your services or indirectly through the services you provide through the insurers that use your platform?
Sure. I mean, well, first, it's simply bringing the process of buying insurance online. I mean, that's an innovation that actually not very many small businesses are aware of today. Most small businesses still go through the traditional kind of agent channel to buy their insurance, and that's fine. But Simply Business has a very strong kind of value proposition. We operate as a marketplace, and by that I mean that we have built over the last 7 years a very robust panel that includes 18 carriers across 6 product lines, all of the primary insurance products that a small business would need, from general and professional liability to workers' comp, and property coverage, as well as cyber insurance for online businesses. So, by doing so, we now allow small businesses to come to our website. They can fill out one application. They can get multiple quotes from different carriers that allow them to compare side by side prices, coverage, and all the other specifics of those policies. Choose one and then buy it online and immediately receive their certificate of insurance. So that in of itself is a big innovation in the insurance space. There are other folks that are bringing the process of buying insurance online, but by and large, they are selling their products. And we feel that, the opportunity to actually build this marketplace and offer the small business owner the opportunity to have access to multiple products across different carriers is the real innovation for right now in this segment of the insurance market.
The insurance industry has traditionally been kind of accused of perhaps being a little bit slow moving, a little bit traditional, and perhaps not super tech forward. When it comes to you partnering with these traditional insurance companies, are they all geared up and able to work with you and consider online applications and approve or quote instantly? How limited are you to the universe of potential insurer versus those that are tech savvy enough to actually plug into someone like you?
Yes. I mean, I think, look, when we started 7 years ago, most insurance carriers had not invested in their technical capabilities for distribution specifically, to be able to connect into, a platform like Simply Business and distribute their products digitally. That is changing over time. And we are working with carriers who are making significant investments in their technology that allow us to digitally quote and digitally bind those policies. So it allows us to deliver a seamless experience and allows those carriers to tap into new distribution opportunities. I would say, in addition to that, The focus that we have had since day one on that micro small business, the business is just getting started, doesn't have a long track record of operations, or has not is just a solopreneur, which is actually the majority of small businesses in America are solopreneurs. They do not have employees. We really have focused on that segment of the market, and traditionally, national carriers had not focused on that segment. Small business to a large national carrier is a different profile, right? It's a business that has been in business for probably a minimum of 3 years, that has millions of dollars of revenue, and tens, 20s, 50s employees. So it's been a process, but we've seen that carriers are very willing to work with us to co-create products, or to help adapt their existing products for the specific needs of this segment of the market. And that's a range. It's including the policy like itself and the coverage limits that are needed, and it's also the price. So I would say, long answer to your question, but it's come a long way in the last 7 years, and I do believe that we see more and more investment from the carriers in their digital capabilities generally, and we obviously are taking advantage of that as it relates to continuing to build out our panel, add more carriers to the platform, and improve the product overall, and the ability for us to distribute those products to our customers.
And I'm assuming your business model is to get a commission for binding this or referring this client to the insurer, in the same way that traditional insurance brokers, perhaps over the phone or in person, get a commission if they refer a customer. I know there are some insurance companies that are kind of nervous about being beholden to brokers and introducers to get customers. There's an insurance company in the UK, Direct Line, which is sort of left, right, and center in their own advertising say, you will never find us on comparison websites. Come to us for the lowest quote. How in the US are insurance companies thinking about paying you a commission? Is it slightly less than an insurance broker, or similar, or would you have an edge there to convince them that you're not an enemy, you're actually a friend, and going to help them long term?
Right. You're right. I mean, our revenue model is a commission on the premium that the carrier charges. We are a broker, so we are agnostic. When a small business comes to us and fills out our application, we are going to provide the quotes from all the carriers that have a product suited to that small business's needs. And again, we're agnostic to which one the small business picks. From a sort of competition perspective, I think it's interesting because it's a dynamic that kind of exists across the insurance industry now. There is a lot more, I would call it, co-opetition amongst carriers, because there are so many new distribution channels that are being stood up. So there's a lot of direct to consumer opportunities, just like with Simply Business. They are distributing their products through other carriers, through wholesalers and aggregators that really attract independent agents, and then make a wide variety of products available to them through a platform. So it's more and more of a trend in the insurance agency from our perspective, and I think it's good. It actually, the net result is that the consumer has more choice.
So obviously we are still in a relatively high inflation environment when it comes to premiums. The average cost of premium has gone up over the last few years. And this is obviously felt particularly hard by smaller businesses, perhaps operating with very small margin. How are you addressing your customers' concerns around the premiums, for their own cash flow, thinking about their cash flow and affordability? And do they have to sacrifice certain coverage, or do you have any thoughts around affordability in general when it comes to small business coverage?
No, look, it's obviously a top concern for small businesses. They are very price sensitive. So again, I think we're seeing more and more insured customers come to us, and really go through the process to see what kind of quotes they get, and figure out if they're going to be able to save money on their insurance when it comes to their renewal time. So I think this gives us an opportunity to provide value to those folks as well in terms of price discovery, to make sure that they're not overpaying for their insurance. And then for our existing customers at renewal time, yes, I mean, we do have customers calling into us and saying, I would like to find a way to save money. Can you help me? And so again, through the marketplace model, through the fact that we have access to to multiple carriers, we're able to assist them if that's indeed what they're requesting from us. So I guess the last thing I would say would be, we are doing all we can to allow folks, flexible payment options. So we offer installment pay, so people can kind of spread out the payments over the course of the year, and that's something that small businesses value a lot, as opposed to paying that annual premium upfront in one go.
So again, thinking about innovation in general, I understand the big ideas that is being digital and self-service,
Yeah,
but it's hard to have conversations these days about innovation without thinking and talking about Gen AI.
sure.
Are you leveraging or exploring or doing research? Is there anything you can share around what you see abilities that for you to leverage that going forward or for the benefit of yourself or your carriers or the SMBs using the
Yes.
platform?
Absolutely, of course. One area that we're very focused on is helping customers through the research phase. So many customers come to us and they're, just started their new business. They are aware that they need insurance. They may not be aware exactly what kind of insurance they need. They may not understand, what kind of limits are available to them, what would be the appropriate level of coverage for them. So we have developed what we're calling the Insurance Advisor, which is a Gen AI enabled tool that, we can, in a conversational way, small business owners can ask questions about, they can tell us what kind of business they are. They can tell us, the specifics of that business. They can tell us if they have employees, and then we can provide them with recommendations and guidance around what kind of insurance they would need and what's appropriate for them. We're also in the process of developing a tool where folks can upload their existing insurance policy, and we can help guide them in terms of if coverage is right for them, if they might need a different type of policy. Again, the limits and the specifics of the coverage that they have. So there's a lot of opportunity to leverage Gen AI to help kind of guide folks through this process. We know that small businesses are very time starved. They're not insurance experts. So, this is where we feel that we can add value at that part of the process.
So if that's something you're doing in-house, sort of developing your own tools or capabilities, do you also partner with third parties? Like I'm thinking perhaps about insurance tech companies. And if so, how do you sort of sift through what's out there and how do you evaluate who to work with and who do you partner with or maybe even invest in? I don't know if you do that. But how do you think about strategic partnerships with third parties?
So, I mean, as a general kind of concept, I would say that when we are looking at kind of the build versus buy decision, we really start with, the question of, is this a core competency for Simply Business? And if it is a core competency, then we really want to try to build proprietary technology, and really control that capability, that part of the process for that customer experience. If it's not a core capability, then we will certainly go out and evaluate vendors to work with, quicker time to market, more agility in terms of, the vendors investing in evolving their product, and we can take advantage of their investment. So I would say that's typically how we approach it. But we also, I think when we talk about specifically kind of going back to that research phase of the process, we have so much information that we've gathered over the years from our customers in terms of, what kind of, insurance that specific type of business would buy, the questions that they ask when they're talking to one of our licensed agents, the support interactions that we have. So we can really mine that information to help really build a robust experience for our customers.
And then to kind of tie things together a little bit when it comes to innovation and top priorities and concerns for your business customers, premium finance, have you seen anything changing there or evolving there? Are there any opportunities that you think are not being met today in that space as when it comes to affordability and spreading the cost?
Yes. I would say that, we are focused right now on making sure that our customers have those payment options in terms of like installment pay. And I think for us primarily in terms of the size of premium that our customers are paying on an annual basis. That feels, well suited to their needs. Premium finance has a place, for sure, especially with more expensive policies, but it's not something that we are offering currently to our customers.
That makes sense. Sam, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your insight here.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Have a great day.